Apple has perfected the art of controlled progress. Each autumn brings a new operating system that promises innovation, security, and delight. Yet behind the marketing triumph lies a harder truth. These updates often leave perfectly functional devices stranded. Users are told that they have to enjoy basic features, they must upgrade their hardware. It's subtle but a powerful form of planned obsolescence. If you want to rely on Wi-Fi from your phone on your computer, then you have to upgrade your phone and you have to upgrade your computer. OS 26 illustrates the problem sharply. Apple has pushed forward with features that seem designed not to improve the device in any way, but to encourage you to buy another. Performance on older iPhones, older computers becomes sluggish, background processes fail, apps that worked yesterday begin to produce errors, and suddenly the choice is stark. Nothing works. Accept a deteriorating experience or pay for the privilege of keeping up. Other manufacturers pretend to offer an alternative, yet Android devices lag behind in software support, often receiving only 2 or 3 annual updates before being abandoned entirely. Laptops running major operating systems face similar issues, drivers become incompatible, essential applications stop being maintained. What should be a decade of usefulness is cut short by corporate impatience. The absurdity is that everyday tasks don't change. Checking email, browsing the web, editing documents. These actions require no dazzling new silicon, yet the technology sector insists that a phone from 3 years ago cannot cope. It's a narrative designed to separate consumers from their wallets. OS 26 exposes another irritant: peripherals and accessories that once worked seamlessly, like my Cintiq, my Wacom. I've got a number of them, and none of them work. None of them work because they weren't designed to work on OS 26, as I now discover. It's all dressed up as progress in the name of security. The result is waste. Perfectly serviceable equipment ends up as landfill because you cannot run it. And you're told you can't go backwards. There is a reasonable expectation that if we invest in expensive devices, they should remain useful for longer. I was sold one of these Wacoms, which I use for travelling with, and it is obsolescent. 6 months later, it doesn't work because my laptop has been updated, and not updated by me, updated automatically, and I didn't know what was happening. I thought, this is very odd. There's a reasonable expectation. I think that when you buy something, it will last for a good 2 or 3 years. It doesn't anymore. And the speed of obsolescence is too fast. The push for novelty overshadows stewardship. The latest software should enhance ownership, not sabotage it. And the irony is that the technology companies could win even more admiration by supporting longevity. A device that stays fast and functional for 7 years earns loyalty. Constant incompatibility breeds cynicism. I would certainly not be recommending Wacom to anybody. And the 3 hours that it takes to establish that actually the problem is not that my cable was failing. The problem is that the entire system doesn't work with the upgraded Mac, what is it, OS 26. But it takes hours to get that admission out of the company. And then you have to deal with Adobe, and then you have to go back to Apple, and you do this endless circle. And in the end, really all you want to do is throw the computer and the various bits of equipment out of the window because it's too tiresome. It's too tiresome. And, I have very little time. I have lessons, I do YouTube, and in the little bit of time that's remaining, I want to draw, I want to animate, I want to use my equipment so that I can draw on screen. And I can't. I can't because I have to spend my little bit of free time on the phone talking to people who don't know what they're talking about or who lie. And I find that offensive. Whether it's just the evasive pursuit of distortion of truth, or whether it is the out and out deceit that is trying to get me to buy something new. The lies corrode my interest in promoting what actually I've relied on for a good 20 years. I've relied on this Wacom system. I thought Wacom was a wonderful organisation. Now I think it's a piece of shit. And I'm looking forward to finding some sort of replacement. If you know of any replacement which is good and reliable, please let me know, because I would very much like to convert to something that is functional and that doesn't tell me porkies. Constant incompatibility breeds cynicism. And OS 26 may be a technical accomplishment, but its strategy undermines trust and undermines compatibility. We should therefore call time on this annual ritual of forced renewal. True innovation respects the customer. It strengthens the relationship between user and machine, and it recognizes that progress is not defined by how often you must replace what you already own, but by how well it continues to serve you. If it doesn't serve you, get rid of it and let everybody know. And I was asked the other day, I did a little video about some shops in Safranbolu, which is a wonderful little town in northern Turkey. And I was asked who was sponsoring this, and the answer is nobody. Sometimes you just want to give a little bit back to society, a little bit back to the community. And so nobody is sponsoring me to say, do not buy Wacom products. They will not survive. And they are not compatible certainly with Apple upgrades. Some of them may be, some of the latest ones may be, but certainly not the ones that I bought. And it's very frustrating to discover this, and it takes a long time to get an agent to actually admit that the problem is compatibility, not anything else. And it should be obvious. It should be obvious. You just say, we've stopped supporting that. But there's nothing on the site. There's nothing. The people have to be dragged to say that they're not supporting the latest Apple upgrades. Well, they don't support that. I don't need to support them.